It is by far the largest company in the Netherlands. The red and yellow clamshell logo is known across the entire world. Oil giant Shell, Royal Shell.
Koning Willem-Alexander was daar woensdag aanwezig om het 100-jarig bestaan te vieren. De koning kreeg ook een rondleiding van Shell.
The royal designation demands an impeccable reputation.
At Shell, we all make a commitment to work by our core values, which are honesty, integrity and respect.
But even with these core values, the company has been under fire for years.
What you see is oil. It's crude instead of water.
Leaking pipelines cause extreme pollution in the Niger Delta, disastrous for the environment and for the local population that lives in dire poverty.
En dan moet je dus nagaan dat je als ouder je kind verliest omdat een bedrijf niet fatsoenlijk opruimt. De olie die hier ligt, lag daar al 4 maanden.
According to Shell, 95% of the leaks are caused by sabotage.
Ik denk dat het smokkelen en stelen van product zo rendabel is geworden dat je kunt dit vergelijken met een drugsorganisatie.
But we receive information about Shell employees in Nigeria who are themselves seemingly involved in criminal activities. Zembla investigates Shell's hell. Last summer, we're contacted by Hilde Bronsema, a staff worker from the Dutch environmentalist organization Milieudefensie. She wants to show us a confidential report about a shocking scandal taking place in Nigeria's Niger Delta, one involving Shell employees. When we meet her a few weeks later, she reveals some striking things she heard while visiting Nigeria 2 years prior.
Toen raakte ik in gesprek met een jongen in zo'n oranje Shell overal. En die zei binnen 3 minuten eigenlijk al tegen mij van... ja, maar het zijn Shell-medewerkers die de opdracht geven tot het veroorzaken van lekken. Shell-medewerkers bellen de bewoners hier in het dorp op om te vragen of ze een lek willen veroorzaken, zodat er geld verdiend kan worden met de schoonmaak ervan.
Bronsema also tells us that Shell and the Dutch government are well aware of these events, but neither takes action.
Ik vind het schokkend dat het is toch de taak van de Nederlandse overheid om zo'n soort beschuldiging serieus te nemen.
We decided to investigate the findings made by Milieudefensie. What exactly is going on in the Niger Delta? To find out, we need to go back in time.
When Shell came and when oil was discovered, our people were told that what has been discovered in our land was going to transform the Niger Delta region.
We speak with Sunny Ofehe, a Nigerian activist who grew up in an area where the pipelines were built by Shell in the 1950s.
And our people were very happy. It is said in some communities that if a child was born on the day oil was discovered in your community, that child was even named after the oil company.
Shell is a boon for Nigeria, as the company declares its intent to contribute to the country's economic development.
Shell is Nigeria's oldest private sector energy company and has a long-term commitment to the country and its people.
At this point, the people of the Niger Delta haven't seen the dark side of black gold.
No, because the oil company did not carry out any kind of environmental impact assessment as to then educate us on the hazard, on the danger. We had cases of bronchitis, we had cases of women, premature births, stillbirths. We had cases of lung cancer, skin cancers. The oil companies have been silently killing us.
Little by little, a fertile region the size of the Netherlands and Belgium is transformed into a stinking moonscape. While the Nigerian government and Royal Shell earn billions of dollars, the locals barely profit at all. On the contrary, Shell's leaking pipelines only make them poorer.
Mensen in de Niger Delta zijn extreem arm, kunnen geen eten meer verbouwen omdat hun akkers vervuild zijn. Ze kunnen geen vis meer vangen. De werkloosheid is gigantisch. Dus mensen hangen maar een beetje voor hun hut, niks te doen. En je ziet ook, ze hebben geen enkele manier waarop ze zo'n bedrijf als Shell verantwoordelijk kunnen houden. Ze kunnen Shell niet eens bereiken.
For a long time, Shell continues its ways undisturbed. In 1993, this changes. Ken Saro-Wiwa, a leader of the Ogoni people in the Niger Delta, unleashes a mass protest against the polluting practices of Shell and the Nigerian government.
In recovering the money that has been stolen from us, I do not want any blood spilt. Not of an Ogoni man, not of any strangers amongst us. We are going to demand our rights peacefully, non-violently, and we shall win.
Shell immediately knew that it was beginning to get international attention.
The military regime responds with a brutal reprisal against Ken Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni people. Hundreds are killed, and Shell is accused of encouraging the army. Saro-Wiwa and 8 other leaders of the uprising are brought to trial.
On November 10th, 1995, somebody woke me up and said Ken Saro-Wiwa and the 8 Ogoni activists had just been executed.
After the execution, Shell says that it regrets the deaths of the Ogoni leaders. But condolences are all Shell is prepared to give.
Ja, ik voel me zeker niet verantwoordelijk.
Maar het zou een oneerlijk proces zijn geweest.
Ja, dat heb ik ook gelezen. Dat kan ik niet beoordelen. Ik was er niet bij. Ik ken daar geen details over. Maar wij kunnen niet op de stoel van de rechter zitten. Dat moet duidelijk zijn. Dat kunnen we nergens. Dat kunnen we ook in Nigeria niet.
Shell pays damages of $15 million to the family of Ken Saro-Wiwa, but insistently denies any complicity in human rights violations against the Ogoni people. Oil extraction in the rest of the Niger Delta continues unhindered, as does the pollution.
In Nigeria voltrekt zich de grootste olieramp op aarde eigenlijk. En dat komt voor een groot deel door Shell.
Why do we have pollution? Because there are pipelines that are crossing, taking 150,000 barrels of crude oil to the export terminal. And then all of these pipelines are old. They have internal pressure, corrosion, leading to leakages.
To date, millions of liters of oil have streamed into the Niger Delta. At first, this was the result of poor maintenance on the pipelines. But as a result of extreme poverty, more causes arise. People themselves are creating the leaks by tapping the oil in order to sell it.
Majority of those pipelines are running above the ground, which is against international standard. They're supposed to be buried under the ground. So now you have 6,000 kilometers of pipelines crisscrossing the whole of the area, and then you have local boys hacking a certain part of those pipelines to steal crude.
Shell claims that 95% of the leaks are a result of sabotage. But according to Milieudefensie, the company itself has a stake in this high percentage rate.
Wat belangrijk is om te weten is dat Shell alleen maar een schadevergoeding hoeft te betalen aan mensen als Shell nalatig is geweest, bijvoorbeeld. Dus bijvoorbeeld er ontstaat lekkage door corrosie, dan moet Shell mensen een schadevergoeding betalen. Maar als het sabotage is, dan hoeft dat niet.
They need to have an excuse for not cleaning up and not paying compensation.
In 2010, Zembla exposes the damage done by oil production in the Niger Delta.
As you can view this place, this is the most recent spill that occurred in last year. It comes from Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria. All these black spots on the mangrove are spills. The whole place is polluted with crude oil. No fish in the swamp again. Okay, this was the only source of water supply for the community.
Als de aandeelhouders echt eens door de Niger Delta gaan lopen, eens zien wat daar met de lokale bevolking gebeurt, dan vraag ik me af of je nog zo comfortabel voelt met het hebben van die aandeeltjes Shell.
The broadcast gets things moving. Politicians summon Shell to speak in Parliament, wanting an explanation about the damaging results of oil production.
I'm disappointed that Shell is not taking this opportunity to start making, as you say, further improvements in Nigeria.
We've been in Nigeria for 50 years, and we'll be in Nigeria for much, much longer.
I want you to have deep down in your heart that more than 26 million people are dying from environmental devastation. I want you to consider that and know that for every fuel that you tank in the filling station, it is at the expense of somebody's health.
Shortly after the Zembla episode airs in 2010, Shell reacts to accusations that the company itself is responsible for the leaks.
Ja, niets kon verder van de waarheid zijn, denk ik.
This Shell executive points to criminals and saboteurs.
Je kunt dit vergelijken met een drugsorganisatie. Ook weer veel machtsvertoon, veel wapens, veel handel.
But there's still another group that sabotages the pipeline, the executive claims.
De derde groep is de lokale bevolking die zo arm zijn dat ze meer baat hebben bij een vervuiling van een week, bij wijze van spreken, dan van een dag. Want we betrekken hen bij het opruimen ervan.
Remarkably, Shell says the leaks are in the interest of the local people because it provides an opportunity to earn money. How does that work exactly? For answers, we travel to Ikarama, a village that lies in one of the most polluted regions in the Niger Delta. This is Papilou. He grew up in Ikarama among the oil installations of Shell. These images come from a documentary made by Milieudefensie in 2019 about the pollution in Nigeria.
Super lief joch van 14. Oudste uit een gezin, dus hielp zijn moeder met wassen, oogsten, dat soort dingen. Maar doordat daar continu olievervuiling was, werd dat gezin steeds zieker.
My brother fell into the oil one morning. He was 6 years old. I saw oil all over his body. The oil came out from his nose, his mouth, his ears. He swallowed the oil a lot. When we went to the hospital, they could not help him. When we got home, we tried to feed him, but we couldn't help him anymore. He was already dead.
En dan moet je dus nagaan dat je als ouder je kind verliest, omdat een bedrijf niet fatsoenlijk opruimt. De olie die hier ligt, lag daar al 4 maanden.
Hilde Bronsema is in Ikarama, making the film about Papilou for Milieudefensie, when she first hears rumors that the leaks are being caused on purpose by Shell employees.
Wat dacht u toen u dat hoorde?
Het haalt Shell's hele verhaal onderuit. Als Shell onderdeel is van die hele sabotage-economie, dat zet alles in een ander perspectief.
Milieudefensie has investigated this matter for the last 18 months. Zembla gained access to their report. It contains detailed information about the leaks and interviews with anonymous witnesses.
When you talk about what do you mean? The heads of SPDC.
To judge whether or not these statements are credible, we wish to speak to the witnesses themselves. But there's one big problem. The COVID-19 pandemic prevents us from traveling to Nigeria. In order to carefully investigate this report, we go looking for an independent journalist in the region. We come in contact with Tife Owalabi, an experienced reporter from the Niger Delta.
I'm a multimedia journalist. I work for Reuters, different international medium. I've fixed for Al Jazeera, I produce for them. I fix for Sky News, I fix for BBC. I've been in data for 12 years now, reporting the story around the oil pollution and environmental degradation.
We arranged to have Tife conduct the investigation in our place. This isn't simple, as the region has been struck by floods and is largely underwater. Moreover, there are serious safety risks involved. There are many violent gangs active in the Niger Delta, and killings take place with regularity.
There's a lot of cost-related activities, gangs, street gangs, who actually work in the hand with some of these oil majors to protect their interests. So if you are going to go to the community and you want to go and cover a spill, if it's not going to be in their favor, they may come after you.
One of the first witnesses we speak to in Ikarama is Washington.
The frequent spills, sabotage spills, are caused by the shell staffs. I can't mention that name because it's risk.
Why is it a risk?
Because I don't know when they will come with, because they are with shell, they are big boys. So they don't know, I don't know when they will come with, come and attack with assassinate us. I am a fisherman. But there is no way I can kill fish today. Go and set net.
One of the other fishermen worked as a security guard for Shell. He prefers to appear unrecognizable on camera for fear of reprisals.
People, they do clean up at my place, SPDC. When they give contracts, now between them, people will go, where did their lane.
Then they are the cause. Now them, they trigger them, engineer them to burst the pipe. But when they did there, who the contractor will they will give, now them know.
Is that a real risk people are running?
Of course.
Coming forward with this information?
Of course, of course. I mean, where you tend to take food away from people's mouths because you're talking, put you at risk because you can be killed in the process. Your life is at stake. I mean, you're treading into a situation where you're stepping on the toes of people who are making so much money from those business.
So these boys, them, when they will spillage occur, if the oil not plenty, and they come like them, come carry salute the oil not plenty, then you will then send your inquiry, say, well, you not try, you not severe. Next time, we will not use you.
What does Shell know about these accusations? We approach SPDC, a subsidiary of Shell in Nigeria. SPDC is not aware of any staff or contractors involved in acts causing oil spills in the Niger Delta. Pipeline vandalism is a criminal offense, and persons making such allegations or in possession of such facts should report such cases to the Nigerian security agencies. According to our sources, it's primarily young people from the village who are acting on behalf of Shell employees to sabotage the pipelines. So we speak to the leader of a local youth organization.
You see, no youths will go and vandalize pipeline. These same persons would have gone to Port Harcourt or Yenegua, met with contractors, and you see them doing subcontracts to that same oil spill. And I raised an alarm. Thank God I have letters to prove my points. I said, Chair, this is what I've observed as a leader of the youths. There are some kind of collaborations between the youths and some of your workers.
The youth organization sent this letter to Shell's highest level manager in Nigeria. The letter details a conspiracy between Shell employees and local youth to vandalize the pipelines. No response arrives.
Shell wasn't looking to apply it as a youth council. So, in terms of this, Shell has not done well.
It's not just Ikarama where Shell employees are involved in sabotage. We go to JK4, a nearby village, right by one of Shell's oil installations. There, a serious leak took place in 2015. We speak with Thank God Albert, one of the village elders.
One early morning, I was still on the bed when I had the information that a very big spill has occurred at well 8 and well 9 along Bisini Road at Adebawa location in the Dagbere Petland community. I took my motorcycle, I drove to that place to go and see things for myself. Pollution, polluted every damn thing. My father's land everywhere was covered with polluted.
When Thank God arrived at the source of the spill, he noticed that the so-called Christmas tree, the heavy valve above the pipeline, had been screwed loose.
In the flow station there, the spanner in which these people used to, these gangsters had used in losing the Christmas tree. These spanners have been, these are the spanners that have been found in the flow station. Ordinary people doesn't have these spanners. These spanners are special spanners that the Shell has, the Shell company has, and the spanners are there in the flow station. When I got there, the man who is in charge of the station, one Mr. Joel, I saw him. I said, what happened? That the spill is so great. Everywhere that's been flooded with the spill. Told me that it was himself and our boys, these miscreants who did the act. I asked them, sir, who are those miscreants from my community? He did not mention them to me.
Joel T. is an employee at Shell. His name comes up frequently as someone who causes leaks.
Then I have now to write petition and submitted the petition to the Nigerian police station at Akenema, to the DPO at the police station at Akenema. They was arrested.
Thank God went to the police and filed a report against T. His statement describes how the Shell employee T had perpetrated the sabotage. A transcript of the statement went to Shell, but then something strange happened. Not Joel T., but Thank God was charged, the man who filed the report. What's going on? According to Thank God, the village leader has good relations with Shell. He likely made a deal with the police to exonerate T.
I was now sentenced to go and serve jail for 1 year for false information to the police. Which false information did I give to the police? I cannot find. The information I gave to police that with his group vandalized the wellhead. I have suffered immensely. All my thing has been destroyed before I came back out of the prison. So many things, my farm, everything, my fishing net, everything is spoiled. These people, the administration within the community and the Shell, the agreement they have of making abnormal money from the oil business is too much. It's too much. We are suffering.
Speaking to Zembla, Joel T. denies all of the accusations. He claims the police investigation and an internal investigation conducted by Shell have cleared him of any wrongdoing. It isn't the first time that Shell employees could have been involved in causing leaks in this village.
It is a sabotaging conspiracy within SPDC.
This video of a sabotaged pipeline was made in 2010.
The SPDC supervisor who is in charge of this recovering is also in charge of this sabotage. He's the person engineering the boys in the community to do these things. And
the man speaking on camera about the leaks is Osuolo. He's the one in the village responsible for reporting leaks.
95 problems of the communities in Niger Delta and Oil Coast community is being caused by SPDC. Because they operate by divide and rule, because the Shell cannot operate without an insider. So they have some good ones around them that conspire with them. They make use of them so that they give them little thing for a day feeding.
One of the men who committed these acts of sabotage is prepared to talk to us. Out of fear of reprisal, he prefers to appear unrecognizable on camera.
In SPDC, we have remediation, cleanup, and recovery team. The people in concern, they will come, instigate some boys to vandalize pipe. It's not the mind of the community. Because of the hunger, those boys did what they asked them to do.
Have you ever been influenced to participate in such activities?
Yes, severally. They came, unlike a usual talk, don't worry, we'll do this, we'll do that, because of hunger. I went there with some boys. Of course, we did it.
So this is a Shell worker, or just a contractor?
Shell worker, the supervisors, because without the spill, they will not get more money.
We present this report with all of the witness statements and documents to Kees van Dam. He's a professor of international business and human rights at the Erasmus University in Rotterdam and has been following the case in the Niger Delta for nearly 10 years.
Ik heb het dossier bekeken en er zitten diverse getuigenverklaringen in die geverifieerd zijn. Ook getuigenverklaringen uit verschillende hoeken die onafhankelijk van elkaar zijn afgegeven. In Nederland zouden dit zonder meer strafbare feiten zijn. Opzettelijke zaakbeschadiging, opzettelijke milieuverontreiniging. Dat zijn hele ernstige gevallen die geen enkel bedrijf van medewerkers zou accepteren. En zal ook zonder meer grond zijn voor ontslag, al dan niet op staande voet.
In other words, these are serious accusations about which Shell has received multiple letters. Still, Shell maintains they are unaware of any wrongdoing. As we investigate further, we stumble upon a Nigerian news article from 2018 about corrupt Shell employees who allow pipelines to be sabotaged. In this article, Shell does react to the accusations. We remain committed to our goal zero, which means zero leak and zero harm to people and environment. Our staff and contractors are bound by this high standard of environmental performance.
Ze zeggen eigenlijk helemaal niets. De suggestie is dat ze in control zijn, dat ze de zaak in de hand hebben. Maar als je dan naar de feiten kijkt, dan lijkt het erop alsof dat juist helemaal niet het geval is. En dat ze roepen, we zijn in control, maar ondertussen loopt de olie over hun schoenen heen.
What has Shell done to tackle this sort of misconduct by its employees? The company has a special code of conduct. This code concerns integrity, honesty, and respect for people. Core values that all employees must adhere to.
It's simply not good for business nor for personal careers to cheat even once. Whether you're a manager, employee or contract staff, you need to know the Shell Code of Conduct and always practice its principles.
Als je naar dit geval kijkt, is er natuurlijk voor geen enkele twijfel vatbaar dat alle drie de kernwaarden in dit geval zijn geschonden. Het is niet oprecht, het is niet integer en het laat zien dat je geen respect hebt voor de mensen die daar wonen, omdat je hun omgeving blijft vervuilen. Dus in die zin is de code op een buitengewoon ernstige manier geschonden. En ook dat is een hele pijnlijke aangelegenheid voor Shell en ook voor de CEO, meneer Van Beurden, die op de Code of Conduct voorop staat en het ook persoonlijk aan alle medewerkers heeft gepresenteerd.
We present our findings to Shell and send the company a list of questions as well. Shell doesn't want to respond on camera and answers none of our questions. We receive only a brief response. SPDC takes such allegations very seriously. If we find any evidence that supports the allegations, we will report to the appropriate Nigerian security authorities. In Nigeria, we make contact with an important source. He's taking a big risk by speaking to us and prefers to appear unrecognizable on camera. This man was a security guard for Shell and took part in multiple sabotage actions. He explains that Shell employees meet secretly in a nearby hotel.
Actually, they used to call some youth, come to hotel, let us see, let us discuss business. In the room, make them do like this and chop money. In the going, then do like this and chop money. What are you people waiting for? You people should go and do the thing so that we can eat money together.
People will now comply to...
Comply, community will comply. One or two guys will go there and vandalize the pipe so that when they bring recovering, they will eat together.
So how much they really give you for the cleanup? You know, it's cleanup.
They are not paying particular amount, but when they give contract to geoterrain will come and meet the supervisor, share reps. The supervisor will come to the community and gather boys, one or two boys in favor rights, which is the business partners. They will do it together and share the money and chop.
Those
which is the supervisors.
Those people that you mentioned, what position are they in there?
Cleanup department. They are the ones that are doing recovering department that are busting this pipe. They are the ones.
Their name?
Is the name those one? I didn't be that. I didn't the ginger boys, the boss pipe. They are the recovering teams. When it happened, recovering team will come and recover the oil. If it is 7 months Shell give them, they will do it 3 months and they will run away.
The Shell employees responsible for the cleanup only remove a portion of the spill. The rest of the cleanup budget goes straight into their pockets, according to this source. Because of this, much of the spilled oil still remains. At the local hospital, we speak to a doctor. He is confronted with the damage done by oil pollution on a daily basis.
It causes a lot of skin irritants. There are also incidents of respiratory tract infection, particularly bronchitis and asthma-like cough. These things are very common during the times where we have spillage. If you see the river where people take their baths and also fetch water for their domestic usage, you'll be surprised. There are lots of flakes of oil on the river. There are also incidents of congenital abnormalities that are related to oil spillage. I've seen some of them with brain defects where the skull did not cover the brain. Part of the brain is exposed at delivery. And some actually lead to early deaths.
In the Niger Delta, nearly 16,000 children die as the result of oil pollution before the age of 1. Life expectancy here is 10 years lower than in the rest of Nigeria. The people of Ikarama have known for years that it's Shell employees who are causing the leaks. Shell Nigeria is also aware of these abuses, but nothing changes. In 2018, the local people finally have a chance to turn the tide. The Dutch ambassador, Robert Petrie, visits the village.
Distinguished Your Highness, I would like to thank you very much for receiving us in your community. I would like to pay our due respects to you. Deputy Paramount Ruler, youth leader, all distinguished representatives of this community. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here and to listen to all of you and to hear with my own ears what the problems there are facing here in this community.
The local resident seize upon this opportunity to speak out against the criminal employees of Shell.
We have oil spillage problem, and this problem is incited by Shell staffs. Go and do an investigation, make a research. They make their money through pipe breaking. Shell make their money through pipe breaking. Shell will teach them how to break pipe. Shell will teach the youths how to break the pipe. So that they, the Shell do, will make money. Those people on top, those big offices, will make millions of naira. So those are the type of problems we are facing.
Please, use the one initiative, as long as Shell is from your own country. Because most letters written to them, they throw it in the dustbin. After listening to you, outright, like all this company, this is initiated by Shell contractors.
We've called Shell, sit with us for a round table meeting so that we can stop all these things. Because they know if this thing stopped, they won't get money again. They make their money from oil spillage.
The things you have tabled are well noted, and they're also understood. So what we will do, we will take this information back to Abuja, where we come from, and we will share this experience and this information with Shell and other interlocutors, also with the government. I think that's also important. I'm very happy that you were really saying what you wanted to say, and I've heard you loud and clear. So thank you very much.
Dat was eind 2018. Wat je dan verwacht is dat een ambassadeur dat rapporteert aan Buitenlandse Zaken, en dat Buitenlandse Zaken in zo'n geval een gesprek gaat hebben met het hoofdkantoor. En de feiten die de ambassadeur gehoord heeft, kunnen hem niet anders dan bij hem alarmbellen hebben doen rinkelen dat daar wel ingegrepen zou moeten worden.
When the Dutch ambassador come,
came to your community. Shell promised to change. Has they changed?
No way, they've not changed. What I want them to do, what I want Shell to do is to come and, no, I'm not talking about money, is to come and renovate all these our areas that we used to get fishes.
Shell doesn't react to the people's accusations, and the Dutch embassy remains silent as well.
In the Niger Delta, for people within the civil society organization, activists, they've always seen the Dutch embassy as an extension of Shell Oil Company. And we see Shell having an overbearing influence on the Dutch government.
A few months after the visit, the Dutch ambassador is removed from his post. That has nothing to do with this case, but another Shell-related matter.
De Nederlandse ambassadeur in Nigeria heeft in 2017 vertrouwelijke informatie over een groot corruptieonderzoek naar Shell gelekt aan het oliebedrijf zelf. Blijkt uit een integriteitsonderzoek naar Robert Petri, zo meldt NRC.
Did the ambassador report the wrongdoings concerning the oil leaks to the ministry in The Hague? A response from Foreign Affairs claims no knowledge of the accusations.
Due to Robert Petri's premature departure as ambassador to Nigeria, he has not been able to follow up on his commitment. After Petri's departure, a temporary commissioner was appointed to manage the embassy. She was unaware of the commitment.
But that's strange, since we can see in the report that nearly a year and a half after the departure of Petri, Milieudefensie corresponded extensively with a political advisor from the embassy about Shell's corrupt employees.
Hoe is dat mailcontact verlopen?
Ik heb gemaild met Chelsea Buurman, zij zit daarnaast. Ik heb gevraagd, wat is er met deze informatie gebeurd? En dan komt er eigenlijk nergens een antwoord. Ze zegt wel van, ja, wij vinden het ook heel erg wat daar gebeurt en we zullen de mensen zonnepanelen geven. En als ik dan nog een keer vraag, maar wat heb je echt met die informatie gedaan? Heb je dat gedeeld met Shell? Heb je dat gedeeld met de Nederlandse overheid? Dan wil ze daar geen antwoord op geven.
When we call Robert Petri, he won't confirm or deny that he's discussed this case with Shell or the ministry. And since the departure of Petri, nothing in Nicaragua has changed. According to the ministry in The Hague, the issue seems to have slipped through the cracks. It's only as a result of the questions Zembla raised that the accusations were discussed with Shell at all, says Foreign Affairs. The ministry also states that this matter will be raised with Nigerian authorities.
The investigation has clearly shown that staff of Shell are involved in all of this sabotage that leads to the cleanup process. The information should be acted upon because people have stuck their neck out, taking the big risk to come and talk about such a very sensitive issue. So the minimum they should get for taking that risk is to see that there is a result at the end of the day.
The lakes and the swamps should come to a normal stage so that we can use those places to fish in and get what we are looking for so that we can meet up our demands.